because you started the company. So I'll let you answer this question first.
Here's the thing. You mentioned the mobile phone, and maybe that's a very good metaphor to explain what's going on. 10 years ago, with Nokia, you could basically phone and text, and not much more. Today, if you look at your mobile phone, it can do so much more. Actually, the phone and texting is just minimal compared to all the things that you can do. You can pay, you can translate, you can internet, you can Google, you name it, you can do it, right? So, to me, lighting is going exactly the same way. The lighting point, as we know it today, will be totally different in a couple of years' time. It will be a digital hub in which lighting is probably a small part of what this can do. So maybe 10%, it becomes really a byproduct. But in the end, it's still lighting. So in order to position our lights and do our lighting design, we need to understand what kind of influences this IoT will have on the light fixture and how it drives, because it will be connected to either the driver or the light fitting or to whatever data infrastructure will be connected to it. So that's why it's really important for me as a line designer now, and that's why we are really studying this, to understand what is it that's available now and in the future in terms of all these smart things. You can't call a daylight sensor and a presence sensor smart. I mean, you can, but we've had it for years and years and years. So if they come to me and say, oh, I've got this smart presence detection, that's not really new. I wouldn't really call that IoT. But it's what you can do with it. And if you talk, for instance, about a presence detection, there's several levels. You can detect somebody in a room. You can detect how many people are in the room. The next level up is where are they in the room? And the next level after it is who is actually in the room. So it's 4 different levels, also a totally different amount of data that is related to it. So you need to understand what it is that you're going to do with all those IoT devices and what you intend to do with the data analytics that comes out of it, and how that then can drive back your lighting controls, setting of scenes, but also other things like HVAC and you name it. So I find it quite scary, to be honest, to see what's all happening. But to me, that is what we need to understand, what IoT is doing. And understanding that doesn't mean that I'm becoming an IoT specialist. I understand who are the partners that I need to deal with in order to create a lighting solution that satisfies all this.
Do you think that, I mean, you mentioned heating and ventilation. Do you think the heating and ventilation guys are going to move into lighting?
Some may try, but I don't know. But we're getting smart consultants and engineer companies that are starting to look into that. Yeah, for sure. It's happening. I've had in 2 projects where from a totally different angle, somebody came to me with, okay, these are the Wi-Fi positions that we need in relation to the lights. And I'm thinking, I need to control that because in the end, I'm still here for the integrity of the lighting design. So I see myself more as the facilitator and the integrator of IoT functions, and at the same time being the guardian for good quality lighting design. Because in the end, it's still the visible part that we will have to deal with, even though there's a lot of invisible stuff happening. But yeah, that's what I think the role of the new lighting designer in the future should be, is to be the guardian of good quality lighting design.